Hello and welcome to the product demo of iDesign. This demo will showcase some of the features available in the app and briefly show you how you could use it. So let's begin. The iDesign app is available on Apple's App Store. Once it is downloaded, it is added onto your device's home screen. The iDesign user interface is designed to provide fast and easy access to drawing tools and functions for a smooth workflow. It utilizes the full screen as a drawing surface. User interface elements that permanently take up the screen space are kept to a bare minimum. Toolbars and rulers can be turned on or off easily as required. The toolbox is organized into multiple levels of menus, panels and buttons, which are displayed based on the current context. The bottom row has a set of root level menu buttons, which displays a set of panels for that menu. There are different ways to open the toolbox menu. Some of them are context based, and depending on the current shape selected on the board, the appropriate panel is displayed for quicker access to the required functions. The different ways to open the toolbox menu are: tap on the menu button located on the bottom right corner of the screen. For the first time, this will open the toolbox with the home panel displayed. Subsequent access will show the menu and panel which was last opened before it was dismissed. Double tap anywhere on the empty board area. This is functionally similar to using the menu button, but provides quicker access to the toolbox if your finger is closer to an empty board area. Double tap on a shape on the board. This straightway opens the Properties panel. For text, it will open the Text Edit panel to edit the text, set the font, size, style, and alignment. There are a vast number of features available via this menu, and they are fully covered in the iDesign user guide. In this demo, we will quickly run through the major features only. The different toolbars, which are conveniently located around the sides of the screen, can be used to quickly access many of the commonly used tools and functions. The toolbars are scrollable and can be turned on or off easily using the toolbar toggle buttons. To close any of the toolbars, simply tap on the arrows again. iDesign has movable horizontal and vertical rulers to help as measurement guides. To show the rulers, simply tap on the ruler icon available on the top left of the screen. Simply tap the icon again to hide the rulers. The Pan Scroll Mode button is located on the top right corner of the screen to switch between scrolling and panning mode, as well as selection mode. The drawing content area supports unlimited zooms. The board can be zoomed using the pinch zoom method, which is a standard way to zoom on the iPhone, iPod, and iPad. Preset zoom options are also available from the toolbar. When the board is in zoom state, you can scroll the board by touching and dragging on the screen. Make sure to press the pan lock button again, which is located on the top right corner of the screen, to switch back to selection mode after you are done with zooming. All the drawing board related settings, which include grid, snap and drawing scale, are done using the board panel. The grid can be turned on or off using the grid switch. Selecting the grid item on the board panel will open the grid settings panel. Grid settings are unit and drawing scale aware. The snap feature can be used to accurately align the object to the grid or another object. Snap can be turned on or off using the snap switch. Selecting the snap settings on the board panel will open the snap settings panel. Snap settings is unit and drawing scale aware. The default units for a new design in the iDesign coordinate system is in points. This can be changed to one of the supported units. iDesign uses a unit-aware coordinate system with an extendable board size and drawing scale setting for setting the board limits as required. A set of standard board size options are available for convenience. You can also set a custom board size. A drawing scale can be set separately from the board size. Default drawing scale is 1.0. Setting or changing the drawing scale will affect all the measurement related features of the coordinate system, display and input, but will not change the internal storage values. Values stored by iDesign internally will always be at scale 1.0. A full set of standard vector drawing tools is available to draw shapes, insert text, images, and add dimensions. Specific steps need to be followed to insert the shape based on the tool selected. For example, to insert a line, select the line tool, then touch and drag to insert the line. Lift up your finger to finish. To insert a path, select the path tool, then touch and drag to insert the first point and its control point. Touch and drag again to specify the next point and its control point. Repeat this for more points. Double tap to finish drawing the path, or double tap on the first point to close the path and finish. Please refer to the user guide for a list of available drawing tools and how to use them. Select the text tool in the Shapes toolbar to add text. Touch down on the board and drag just like you insert a rectangle. Release to finish. A text box with a default text and a dash outline for the bounding box will be inserted on the board. To change the text, double tap on the text box, which will open the text edit panel for you to enter the text and change its properties, such as the font, size, style, and alignment. You can also convert text to path using the two-path button in the Path Edit tab. Select the Image tools in the Shapes toolbar to add an image. The image picker is displayed to select the image from the photo library. Selecting an image will insert the image onto the board, which can then be moved and resized as required. Both single and multi-selection are supported. Shapes can be selected by touching on them. Shapes with a full color can be selected by touching anywhere on the shape. Shapes without a full color can be selected by touching on the line or path only. When a shape is selected, we will have 4 gray pegs located at the 4 corners. To unselect a shape, touch outside the empty board area. Multiple objects can be selected by touching and dragging around the area enclosing the shapes. Select an object and drag to move the object. The X and Y location of an object can also be specified in the Properties panel. An object can be moved by specifying an increment using the delta transform. The nudge buttons on the bottom left of the screen can be used to move an object in fine steps or snap or grid increments. You can resize a shape or a selection by dragging the handles located at the corners of the selection in the appropriate direction to increase or decrease the size. To rotate, select the object, then press and hold the red handle on the right side of the shape or selection. Then drag the handle around the center to rotate the object. You can change the rotation center by touching and dragging the center point to another location and then rotate around the new center. You can delete, copy and paste objects or a selection of objects using the edit tools found on the top toolbar. To copy and paste, select the objects, press the copy button, then the paste button. The copy of the objects will be pasted exactly on top of the original object. You can then move the new object to a different position on the screen. To delete an object, select the object and press the delete button. If you make a mistake, you can undo or redo the changes using the Undo or Redo 2 buttons located on the top toolbar. A multi-level undo and redo stack is maintained by iDesign from the time you started the current session. You can undo or redo an unrestricted number of steps back to where you started the current session. The Properties panel is displayed by double tapping on a shape. You can set all the properties for a shape like its location, size, and specify attributes like style and color. Numeric fields for location, size, length, angle, center, radius, and rotation are available based on the button selected. Subpanel buttons opens panels for setting style, pen, full colors, color mixer, and gradient. Text Edit button opens the Text Edit panel with text entry and style options for selected text shape. Path Edit buttons opens Path Edit panel with options to close a shape, convert to path, and set control point types. The Stroke panel option allows you to set the line width, line style pattern, start and end arrow markers, line end, and line join style. Full colors and line colors are set separately. Colors can be set using the predefined color swatches or specified by RGB values using the color mixer. You can also set the fill color and line color of a shape using the Colors toolbar located on the right side of the screen. You can switch between fill and stroke pen mode using the first button in the Color toolbar. You can specify a gradient for the shape using the Gradient tab in the Full Color panel. More gradient stops can be added and moved around to define the gradient. The gradient can also be set as linear or radial. All the object-related functions like grouping, rotation presets, flip, explode, join, combine, separate, and advanced Boolean operations are available in the object menu and toolbar. Shapes can be grouped together to create complex shapes. A group can be further grouped hierarchically with other shapes or groups to form more complex objects. Shapes can be exploded into individual segments, each segment to be a separate shape. They can be joined together at endpoints if the endpoints are close together. Shapes can be created and placed on top of other shapes. The order of the shapes which determine which shape is higher in the stack is referred to as its Z order. No two shapes can have the same Z order. One is always over the other when it overlaps. To raise or lower a shape, select the shape and press the raise or lower buttons in the Tools panel. When there are many overlapping shapes, for raising the shape to the top, use the top button in the Tools panel, or for lowering the shape to the bottom, use the bottom button. Shapes can be flipped horizontally or vertically. Flipping shapes is the same as mirroring shapes across the X or Y axis, with the origin as the shape center itself. Shapes can be aligned left, right, or centered with respect to each other. Multi-select the shapes you need to align and press the required Align button to align them. The standard Boolean operations unite, intersect, subtract, and exclude are supported. Two objects need to be selected to perform a Boolean operation. Unite merges the two objects together as one. This is different from grouping, as with unite, the objects are merged at the node level to form a single object. Intersect merges the overlapping area of the objects with the remaining portions removed. Subtract removes the overlapping portion of the first object by the second object. Exclude removes the part of the two objects which are overlapping. The path editing features can be used to edit the node points and segments of a shape. Double tap on the shape to open the Properties panel. A shape's points can be moved independently by turning on the Edit Point setting. Note that this setting is separate for each shape. The switch is disabled if a shape is not selected. Double tap on a shape to open the Properties menu, then select the Path Edit panel for points and path editing options. When you are in path editing mode for a shape, the path editing tools are available at the bottom of the screen. Points can be added in between a selected segment. You can remove any selected point as well. Open multi-line shapes and open paths can be closed using the Close button. Any shape can be converted to a path using the To Path button. Converting a shape to a path changes it to a Bezier curve, with control points for each point. Control points can be moved to alter the structure of the path. Individual segments in a shape or path can be selected and they can be curved or straightened. Shapes can be organized into different layers. A layer can be visualized as a separate transparent sheet on the board which holds a set of shapes. Multiple layers can be created to organize the design logically. Each layer's visibility can be turned on or off. Each layer can be locked or unlocked. Locked layers are not editable. There is always a layer which is identified as the current layer. This layer can be set. Any new shape created or pasted on the design will be located on the current layer. You can move and edit shapes on other visible layers. Layers can be raised or lowered. Raising or lowering a layer will bring all the objects on the layer to the front or back depending on the Z order of the layers. A background image can be set from the photo library, which will be laid under the grid. This feature is intended for tracing, copying or marking raster images. To set a background image, open the Background Layer panel in the Layers menu. Press the Select Background Image button, which opens the Photo Library folder. Select the required image to be set as background by touching on it. Once the image is loaded, the thumbnail of the image will be visible on the panel. Turn on the background switch to enable the background image under the grid. The High Resolution button sets a full resolution image as the background for tracing at higher zoom levels. Low resolution is still good for tracing at normal and lower zoom levels. The Design menu allows you to create and manage your designs. The Designs panel shows a list of all your designs. This is a scrollable list of design names and any design can be selected. Selecting a design will open a sub-panel with a design thumbnail and options for opening, clearing, blocking, or deleting the design. Designs can be stored locally or on iCloud. iDesign has full iCloud support for automatic sync between your iPhone, iPad, and Xdesign, which is the Mac version of iDesign. To create a new design, tap on the plus button. This will also save your previous design before opening the new one. To open an existing design, select any design from the list, which will show the Design's Details panel, then press the Open button. Designs are automatically saved when you open another one or close the app. There is a Save button on the Edit toolbar to explicitly save the current open design. iDesign includes dimensioning tools for drawing linear and angular dimensions in technical drawings. A length dimension tool is available for creating linear dimensions, and an angle dimension tool is available for creating angular dimensions. To edit the dimension points, double tap on the object, which will change it to edit mode, and then move the endpoints. This will update the dimension value automatically. You can also give a custom constant value if needed. The value for automatic dimensions are determined based upon the units and drawing scale settings for the design. A comprehensive set of dimension settings are available to set the dimension style, format, text location, and more. Architectural formats are also supported to format values in feet and inches. For example, you could have 12 feet and 3 1/4 inches. iDesign supports high-quality export output in both raster and vector formats. The supported formats are SVG, PDF, JPEG, and PNG. PNG can have a transparent background. SVG and PDF and popular vector formats are supported by many desktop and mobile apps. The background export options allow including the background layer or the grid in the exported image. You can also set the background as transparent when exporting to PNG formats. You can specify whether you want to export all visible layers, the current layer only, all the layers that are visible, or just the current selection. For raster image formats, you can specify the export size. Designs can be exported in all supported formats as email attachments or exported directly to Dropbox. Designs can also be exported to the photo library as JPEG images. You can print it out directly if you have an AirPrint compatible printer. Thank you for watching our product demo for iDesign. If you have any questions, please contact us on our website located at the description box below.